Question. There's a girl in my class I want to ask out on a date, but I don't know if she's interested. What are the signs that a girl likes me? This is exactly how I would have thought in middle school, high school, in college had I not gotten into game. And this is exactly what I would have wanted to know. And I will absolutely tell you the signs of indicators of interest and how to tell if a girl likes you. But before I get into that, I'm going to tell you all the reasons why the fact that you're asking this question is actually the problem. Okay, so here's the thing. Her attraction for you is constantly in flux, which means that it's not an all or nothing thing. It's not about, does she like me enough for me to ask her on a formal date and her to say yes, or nothing. There are a lot of in-betweens. There's in-betweens like, will she have a pleasant conversation with you in which you could build more value? Will she go hang out with you and do something as a friend in which you could build more value and get to know her a lot more? Okay, now with all that said, how can you tell if a girl's interested in you? And by the way, this is if she's interested in you, not just whether she'll go on a formal date with you, but if she's just interested in you in general, because it doesn't have to be at that threshold yet. Here are some good signs. If she hangs out near you when she doesn't have to, if you get to choose your seats in class and she just seems to sit next to you a lot, she probably likes you. She probably is interested in you, unless she's just copying off your paper and likes you for that, right? But in general, she probably likes you, is interested in you if she's going out of her way in any way to be near you when she doesn't have to. If you are around her and she goes out of her way to say something to you, like your teacher says something, she makes a snide remark out of the corner of her mouth to you, like jokes around with you, she probably likes you. If you catch her looking at you, making eye contact with you, staring at you, any of that kind of stuff, she probably likes you. If she ever gives you a compliment, she probably likes you. Now, all of this is useful and should be encouraging if it's happening. But if it's not happening, I don't want you to be discouraged, because you don't actually need overt positive indicators of interest in order to go to a next step. All you need, honestly, is just a lack of indicators of disinterest. In the real world as a grown-up, when I go out and approach girls that are not in my class, who I'm not going to see over and over and over again, the single biggest indicator is she simply isn't leaving. I'm talking to her and she's choosing to stay in the conversation with me rather than choosing to leave. It's not that there's tons of huge positives, it's that there's the absence of a negative. It's that she's choosing to continue the interaction instead of choosing to end it. I want you to start thinking about the idea that you're a high-value, cool guy, and the more the girl gets to know about you, the more she's attracted. And the more you know her, the more there's going to be comfort built between you. And so your job isn't to ask the girl on a formal date. Your job is to build a good series of interactions with the girl where she gets to like you more and more and more. And the philosophy I'd like you to have with all these indicators of interest is this. I don't want you to be trying to think, oh my God, is she totally and completely into me? Does she have a crush on me? Is she in love with me? I want you to think, does she like me at least enough? And then I want you to round up. So if you think there's a 15% chance she likes you, act like she likes you. If you think there's a 30% chance she likes you, act like she likes you. If you think there's any chance at all that she might like you, act like she likes you. Because when you act like she likes you, you're going to start acting with more confidence. You're going to start acting in a more attractive way around her, which is more likely to make her like you. If you start acting like she doesn't like you, you're going to start acting in low-value ways, in ways that are try-hard, in ways that are self-monitoring and self-sabotaging, which will make her less likely to like you. In fact, I would suggest a philosophy that you go through life thinking that women in general like you as the default. And it would be the unusual, the outlier case that the girl doesn't like you. That's the way I would go about this. And I would go about viewing the world that way. I'm an attractive person. Women generally like me. And the more time they spend with me, the more likely they are to like me, especially if I'm being my best self and being a high-value, attractive guy that's assuming girls like me during this time. Also, though, I would not have this very binary way of thinking. Either I'm her crush and she wants to have a date with me, or nothing. I would try and ask myself, how can I spend quality, positive time around this girl? And it doesn't have to be a formal date, at least not at first. And have some good interactions in class, good interactions in casual ways, and then you can invite her on a date, and the date itself doesn't have to scream, it's a date. It can be, oh, hey, we finished class, you want to head over to the cafeteria, and I'm hungry, let's go to the cafeteria together because it's almost lunchtime. That's close enough to a date. You're spending more time with her, you're building more interaction with her. You do that a few times, that becomes normal. Now it's a lot more normal to ask her out for a coffee or a movie outside of school because you've already done a lot of things with her in that school context. I will say one thing in favor of formal dates, and this comes from something called phatic communication. Phatic communication means like symbolic communication. If you are not very good at being man to woman with a girl, if you are not very good at conveying that you like a girl, the idea of asking her on a formal date may seem like a very convenient thing to do because it kind of says that for you. If you say, hey, let's go to a movie together, or hey, I'd like to go out with you on a date, it says I want to be man to woman with you without you having to figure out how else to be man to woman. But it's not the best way. You do a much better job by just going out and flirting and being man to woman in your conversation. And here's a little secret. Even if you take her on the date, the formal date that phatically says this is man to woman or this is a romantic thing, even there you're still going to have to flirt. So there's no way around learning to flirt. It's just something you're going to need to do. And I'll also tell you this is me talking specifically to past me. You do know how to flirt and tease because you already do it with your friends. You already do it with people you're close with. Just start doing a lot of that type of stuff as a starter with the girl you like. So once again, I love this question because I was absolutely right there with you. This was the question I would have liked to have had answered. This was the model I had in my head of how attraction works. But the fact of the matter is the way you're thinking about the world is not helping you here for a number of reasons. Number one, attraction is not fixed. Number two, it doesn't matter so much if the girl likes you now. It matters if you have a way to interact with her such that she can get to see more of your attractive personality and that liking can grow over time. As long as you are interacting with someone and being an attractive person, you're in a good place. And that should be your goal. Your goal is not about getting the formal date. Your goal is about getting the girl who likes you enough for the formal date. And again, that's not static. It's not like she either does or she doesn't. It's like it's growing over time with each positive bit of interaction. So focus on having positive interactions and continuing to spend time together with the person. It doesn't matter so much that it be a formal date, and it doesn't matter so much that it be overtly you be her number one crush. It's quite possible you could not be the girl's absolute top first choice, but you spend time with her, have a good time together, spend more time with her, see her outside of class, and you grow to be her number one choice, or you're the guy who made a move and her number one choice didn't, and she ends up dating you, and that's completely fine too, okay? It's not an all or nothing thing. It's very, very fluid, and you as an attractive man, it should be your goal to spend time with a woman. You should have this philosophy that if any girl spent enough time with me being my best self, it's absolutely a given that she'll become attracted. So that is my actual goal. So that's my answer to my past self, and hopefully to a lot of you out there, that's going to be very, very helpful. I hope you liked it. If you did, like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.